Well, here I am, back in Nashville, back on the front porch. I remember hearing a rap lyric one time, and when rap used to not be just mumbling, and it was something along the lines of, "You see me, I'm riding in the coupe, while you're just acting stupid on the stoop." So here I am on the stoop, acting stupid, and finishing up, cleaning up this house. I drove all the way to Florida in a U-Haul, dropped all my guitars and miscellaneous stuff off. Then flew back this morning, got up at like 1 o'clock in the morning, got to the airport at 4 a.m., flew from Daytona back to Nashville, and now I'm back here finishing up, cleaning up the house. I got some help coming in a little bit, but I'm here on this porch for the very last time, and I mean it this time. I've got my car here, and I'm going to drive my car back early in the morning tomorrow, and then that's it for Nashville. I feel like I found my voice on this front porch with these little songbirds singing in the background, and now it's a burning, blazing hot day with like 100-degree heat index, and man, I'm already just a sweaty mess, and doing the grunt work of getting this family settled in Florida. And it's a process, man, and it's a process, scaling down your gear. I started scaling down my gear, man, probably a year or 2 years ago. As guitar players, we tend to accumulate gear, and we tend to, want to acquire gear all the time. And part of that for me was, all the years that I was just flat broke and, didn't have any money, and you'd get a chance to go do a session or whatever, and you knew you were showing up with, maybe not the best gear in the world, or you weren't really prepared for everything. And, so when I started, getting some breaks and getting the work, and making some money, then I started reinvesting in myself, and making sure I had a good Les Paul, and making sure I had a good Telecaster, and making sure I had the pedals that I needed, and I had amps, and I had all this. But it comes down to a point where I'm not like a guy that does a lot of session work. I'm more of a live guitar player. I like to go and swing for the fence in front of a crowd, and I like to get paid well for it. And so I'm not, I don't really need as much as I have. So I started the purge a while ago, and I got rid of all my 412 cabs, and I got rid of all my 100-watt heads, because I had a guy in the comments reach out to me recently, and he says, "Man, I'm waiting on some money that somebody owes me, and I'm gonna buy an old car, and I'm gonna take my stack, and I'm gonna come down to Nashville." And I said, I got a chance to reply back to him, and I just said, "Hey man, you might want to invest in a combo amp and maybe a modeler." And he'd also said that he played bass. I said, and bring your bass, because from what I understand, there is a shortage of bass players in town, and that may not be true now, or it may be true. I'm not sure, but you gotta have the right gear for the gig. And that is why us as guitar players, we accumulate a lot of gear, because the reality is you never know what kind of phone call you're gonna get and what kind of gear you're gonna need. And just like when I went on the road with Cole Ford, man, when it started, I had all my club gear. I had my blues and funk gear, but I didn't have any like arena type a rig, and I had to build and pay for it all on my own, in order to to do that job the way I thought it was fit. Now, if I had to go back out again, I'd probably just take a Kemper or something and not go through the agony of, 300-watt heads and a 412 and, all this stuff. So, it really comes down to just having what you need to get the job done that you're doing. But, in this business, you don't know what kind of calls you're going to get. And you don't know when that thing you just sold, all of a sudden, it doesn't turn out, oh, I sold my 12 string, got good money for it. And then all of a sudden what happens? You get a call, hey man, you got 12 string? So, you just never know what to be prepared for. You just try to have, enough to do what you do. And, now that I'm moving, I don't know what opportunities are going to happen for me in Florida. It is a totally new situation for me. And so, I am going to go down there, and I've got my guitars, and I've got a couple good tube amps, and I've got, my pedal boards and all that stuff. And it'll certainly be enough to get me off the ground. And until I can find out, what do people use in Florida? There's certain, gear that people use in Nashville. And there's certain things you don't see a lot of on stage. Now, I take my Ibanez out when I'm doing these corporate gigs because it plays great, and I can get a lot of different sounds out of it. But man, you don't see many guys down on Broadway playing Ibanez guitars and shredder type guitars and stuff like that. Now you do see some, and there are some bands down on Broadway they're pretty much just straight up rock bands playing some country songs. So, you can forge your own thing here. Just like, when I moved here, I knew I wasn't a country player. I never have been. Somebody in the comments one time said, just recently, he was in Australia, and he says, well, you play your rock, down here, and then you just go down 3 frets and you play the same licks, and it's country. And that's a pretty simplistic approach, and one that I took, when I played in a country band when I was like 19 years old out of Busch Gardens. But it's really a lot more complicated than that. And, the way those guys use open strings and, double stops and all that stuff, it's a lot more complex than playing the major pentatonic scale. But that helps. Yeah. I mean, you can certainly get here with that major pentatonic scale and work it and learn a few things and pick up some of the stuff that guys do here, and that will get you far. So I just want to thank everybody for helping me get this channel to take off finally, after having this channel for 14 years, man. This is just out of this friggin' world. I'm so pumped for the future, and there's going to be lots of awesome front porch style vlogs talking about the music business, about being a guitar player, all the inside information that you want, and you want because you told me that's what you like. And now that I know what my audience likes, you're going to get a lot of it. So thanks so much for tuning in. I'm going to finish cleaning up this house back here, and tomorrow morning I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to head back down to Florida, and this time it's for good. So thanks everybody, and I'll see you on the next video.